So, hello again. As promised, I said I'd do a bit of an unusual video for me because I bought the tent and we're going to review it today. Now, as you can see by the title, it's a Vango Apollo Amazon exclusive. From what I can gather, this tent's been around, well, the first review I ever found on it was about 12 years ago. So I presume, it's a reasonably established tent, which a lot of the Vango range is because they're good and they're well designed, but there's always some little tweaks on it. So you may ask, why am I doing a larger tent? Right, well, some of the comments I've had have been from people, obviously, who are couples, who are asking if the tents I've got can get a double in and things like that. So it's very clear that the audience isn't just going to be solo campers or wild campers or trekkers. So what I thought I would do is show you a luxury family tent. It's a 5-berth, so like I say, it will fit 5 people in, but a bit sardini. So I always say take a number off that. So for comfort, it's a 4, but you can get 5 in it. So even though I've not been in it and even pitched it yet because it's brand new and I haven't taken it out of its packaging yet, it will be the perfect tent, I think, for a couple with a couple of kids, definitely, because there's also quite a large living space in it, and you can stand up in it. I think it's about 6 foot tall, something like that, probably a bit less in the bedroom area, but again, it's definitely a stand up at the front and you can sit in it as well. And I'll show you why, for some people who want the luxury aspect of camping but at a budget, because I'm always about the money, why this tent might be the buy for you. The price is a very good £139. That is a very good price for a very good brand, and B, what appears to be a very good tent. I've no doubt it'll be good. I don't know what it's got in it, whether it's got any extras in it and things like that. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a bit. So we're going to pitch that in a moment when I finish my brew, because my brew is there and I've got to finish that first because it's my first brew of the day, and we'll get it pitched up, like I did with the Ribble. We'll look at the stages of it, and then I'll go into a little bit more about why this tent can be good for people who just really want to relax. And I'm going to spend 2 or 3 nights in this one this year, because this year I'm chilling. So we'll talk about that in a minute. It's great to have you on board, and I hope this is a really useful video for you. And like I say, my site is for everybody, okay? So I want to encourage the people with families to also get into camping, and I think this tent might be the one that'll work for you. So I'll finish my brew and we'll get pictures. So here it is, the Apollo 500 by Vango. So I'll show you the specs and we'll read what it says. So, exclusive to Amazon, which it is, the Apollo 500 is a 5-man tent that offers the user a spacious sleeping area with a versatile porch. It can be pitched as one with the bedroom attached to save time, and there's no worry of the inner tent getting wet on a rainy day thanks to the external poles. The Apollo 500 is the perfect companion for weekend camping for young families, groups of friends and couples who require some extra living space. Yeah, well, that's about it, isn't it? Quite a modern design. I do like the colour, and it's got the modern Vango logo, so it's obviously been upgraded, got updated as it's gone on. 3,000 head outer, fire retardant, diamond clear windows, which is a Vango thing. The linked in ground sheet, which is a bold design, which is good, and I'll explain that. Powerflex fiberglass. Yeah, it is quite weighty, but again, when you're looking at family tents now, you're not putting this on a backpack, so the weight and size really isn't an issue because you're going to transport it in a car, so that really doesn't matter. It says pitching in 10 minutes. Not on the first pitch it won't be, I'll tell you now, because you'll have to put the inner tent in after you've pitched it. But like they've said, I always leave the inner tent in, so when you do come again, like I did with the Ribble when I came out, once you've got that up, everything's ready to rock. So it probably is a 10-minute one once you've got used to pitching it. Very straightforward design, very common design. So you've got the cross beam, which is a great design, and it gives a pitching advantage, I hope, and I'll explain what I mean by that. And then it's got the third pole here for the pull-out living area. So, fantastic design. Really like the look of it. I'm excited to see this up, actually. Something else I do like is the cross poles don't have a little cover that you sometimes get with tents, where you have to hook it on to cover the cross, and that can be a pain, because sometimes if you forget, you've got to put it on afterwards. So there's none of that messing about with this either. So that's the tent. So the nearest I saw to this, and again this is a budget site, so you're not spending a lot of money. The nearest I saw to this, there was a Euro height version with a very similar design. As I say, these are quite a common design, these cross beams with that at the front for the porch. That was £99, but it was 2,000 head. Like I say, 2,000 head is okay, don't get me wrong, but to spend another £40 on what will be a slightly better built tent with a slightly better head and more upgraded fiberglass, because a lot of the budget tents don't have a brilliant set of fiberglass poles. It's not a massive problem. I've never snapped a pole in my life, but tend to, when you're in this range, you're going to get slightly more sort of stronger poles. Poles are important now on a tent of this size, because the larger the tent, the more likely it's going to catch the wind, because there's more surface area. So having sort of sturdier poles is a good thing. So we're going to get this open, because I've not opened it yet, and we'll start looking at getting it pitched up. So that's the inner tent, that's the outer tent obviously, and the poles. Now straight away I can feel the quality of the material. It's definitely Vango quality. The material feels incredibly good, thick, really nice. Quite, not surprised, but nice to know that even on a tent of this price, it feels good quality. So as I said, we're going to get the outer tent pitched, and then we'll get the inner tent clipped in. So as I say, standard design, 3 poles. We'll get them poles in. They are colour coded apparently, so I would imagine the front porch will have a different colour, but we'll have a look at that in a sec. So yeah, I was right. There's a blue pole which will be the front pole, and then 2 black poles, so that'll be for the front porch. So again, made it nice and easy for us. Well then, as you can see, the blue pole has a little tag marker just to remind you, which is good for first time pictures. Gives you a little bit of confidence you've got the right pole in the right place. Now I've got to clip it all in and get it up. Poles in and clips at the end. I wouldn't say it's a doddle on your own, but I did it. Now when I said there's a pitching advantage to these tents, and I guessed it would be, it's the fact that once they're in, you've got the shape of the tent and it's not falling over. So what you can do is move it around to get it into position first. Fab. And I'm going to say I'm quite surprised it is much bigger than I expected. So let's crack on. So final pole in. Quite easy to get the final pole in. I haven't roped it out yet, pegged it, but already you can see it taking shape. I'm about 15 minutes in now, which is fine for a new tent for me. And again, if there was a couple of you, it'd be a lot easier. But we did it. Is it pegged out? I've only pegged it out loosely because I'm not pitching it, so I've not put all the lines on, just enough so I can sort of show you the dimensions. But what a cracking size. Very nice look here. Bigger than the Euro hiker, so I'll definitely say that. Very, very, very Vango this. So we've got there the ventilation, which is always really good. You can close that in bad weather or just leave it open, let the air in. As you can see, I haven't pegged it out properly. I'm sure you don't care, but there's lots of ropes and lines that are going to just make it a lot more sturdy, but there's no wind today, it's not going to go anywhere. And then we're going to venture in and do the bit I'm dreading, which is putting the inner tent in. Side door. Now there's a flaw in this design, like I said. Have you spotted it yet? We'll talk about that in a bit. You can see straight away how much room we've got. And you've got the bucket style ground sheet which comes over, so I presume the bedroom area must have the front ground sheet with it, which is clever. Unless I've missed something, but I don't think I have. So yeah, that's it before I put the bedroom in. You spot the flaw that I spotted, but to be honest, it's not as bad as flaw as I thought it was. So the side door, it's got a side door access which is really useful, which means you can get all that closed off there and you don't have to be walking in and out through it all, so you can get your table and everything set up there. I've put the chair in so you can see, you can sit up in it, which is great. The issue with the side door, and actually the front of the tent as well now, because unfortunately, it's the only thing I wish they had done, is they haven't put king pole eyelets, so you can't put that out on a pole. Definitely be a good conversion though to do, I think, which is a shame because I was hoping for that, but again, I'm blown away by everything else, so I don't care about that really. So the problem is with these doors, they're on a slant, so the rain's going to come in. But I thought the ground sheet was built in, but it's not. It's separate. So what Vango have decided is you can pull this away in case it's going to rain, and on a night put it back. Now, this is a very quality tent. Like, I haven't done this with the bed area, but these are the pegging areas for your bed area, and they've even put like a little hole there. So you can actually fold the whole sheet back, which is hell of a touch. So it means if it does rain, you can pull that back, and then you can just put that on a night when it's dry. So again, I haven't done it properly, but look at that. That is a nice tent. So let's go inside and have a look at the sleeping area. Like I say, I haven't pegged out the sleeping area, but it's now suspended and it will remain that way. That is very, very nice. Very, very nice indeed. Vents at the top. Let's see if they've done any extras. Oh yeah. So as you can see, it's all meshed. A lantern point. Yes, I like lantern points, so you can put your light on there. And some very Vango-like pockets to put your stuff in. Very, very, very nice indeed. A lot of quality in this tent. All the fittings are very high quality. The zips, the pegs, again, thank God for that. Put that on first and all will be revealed. But it screams quality. £139. I would have probably paid £179 for this. Another 50 quid, I think. 50, 60 quid I'd have spent on this. Because it is very lovely. And let's sit up. So I'm now sat. I've got all that room. Lovely living area, which you can keep completely separate from your bedroom. We'll unzip that side bar in a minute, so I'll show you that. Again, no king poles, but if it's going to rain, you're just going to pull the ground sheet back. Genius. Because some of these have it built in, but this isn't, so you can actually pull your ground sheet back. I think you can guess I'm impressed. But what a lovely tent. Vents as well. You can see on the outside, you've got vents there. So this is going to be a very nice tent. So, some extra touches. This is covered up for privacy, sorry. This is covered up for privacy. But you unclip them. And you've got your nice windows as well. And they are really good clear windows on these tents. And then you can zip them back. Very good. Let's just unplug that one. Unclip that one even. And show you. And then you've got a little window space as well. Fab. We'll get that side door up and I'll show you a bit more. So what I've done is I've just folded the ground sheet clumsily back so you can see the inside. So if it did rain, you wouldn't have a problem at all because it's going to drip straight onto the grass off them little ball bits. They stop your creepy crawlies getting in as well with the ground sheet on. And I've secured the front so you can see that if you decided to set up your eating areas and chairs and stuff in there, you could just use this door to exit and enter the tent without disturbing that. And it's a lot of room. You could probably easily get a table and 4 chairs in there, no problem at all. Again, as for the sleeping area, tons of room for 2 big doubles easily. As I say, 4 people comfortably. You could easily get a 5th in there. Couple with 2 kids. This is the tent, isn't it? But quality, quality, quality. The quality of the zips you can feel. Trust me, a bad zip in a tent is a nightmare. Because of the design of it, there's not a lot of strain on the doors as well. Quick walk around again. Poles, very thick, very nice. Lovely ventilation point. As I say, this tent will look so much better when it's roped out properly, but you don't care about that, do you? You're just here to see it. So, if it's your first tent and you're a family, and I'm not sponsored by Amazon, you know, I would say if there was any flaws in this tent, and there really isn't, that floor about the rain getting in well with the removable ground sheet, that's that figured. It's a bargain, £139. And I must say, it's a good looker as well, isn't it? Nice colour. Very well built, but typically Vango, but like I say, the material, everything screams quality, the zips, everything. But that's what I would expect from Vango. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's given you food for thought. As I say, it is a lovely tent. Very spacious, a lot bigger than I expected, actually. And I'll speak to you soon. So, having a bit of a cheeky beer in the sunshine, which is nice to take advantage of, especially in the UK, which we don't get a lot of it. So, a quick summary. I think you probably gathered, I love the tent. Some of the things you didn't see in the footage is the sort of extras to do. So, there's elastic mounting points at the front of the outer tent, which is good because it gives flexibility for the zips. I must admit, I was very much surprised. I wasn't surprised at the quality because it's Vango, but I must admit, for that price range, I did not expect the quality now of the materials and the zips and everything. Although Vango, again, it's just a go-to brand for me because it's never let me down. Everything I've owned from Vango, from beds, sleeping mats, the lot, it's always been good. And the Trek tent as well, which was my first ever video, which was really popular. So for me, I think if you've unboxed enough tents in your time, you can feel the quality as soon as you open the bag, and the weight give it away as well, because obviously the weight is part of it. The quality of the material is stunning. It's high-end tent feel to it, and I think that's probably just because manufacturers got cheaper, so they can use better quality at a better price. £139, I've happily paid another 50 quid for that. I wouldn't have been disappointed at all. If I'm being an absolute niggler, then I would say the absence of king pole eyelets isn't a game changer for me, and to be honest, it's so easy to put in yourself anyway if you want to. But that's it, I can't think of anything else, and that is me just being a perfectionist. However, it's a 10 out of 10 for a tent. I don't know what else you can do for the money. If this doesn't get you into camping, when you're looking at that for a fantastically large, well-designed, high-quality tent for that price, and hopefully you can get it in the US as well, you can't go wrong. You know, you can probably get out with your family for £350 with, you know, sleeping bags and mats and things like that, and chairs. So I'm going to be taking it out in the field where I will put it up properly, so you'll see the tent in all its glory, because you never saw it really sort of looking as good as it can be. But again, I wanted to expand my sort of range to cover everything. So you've seen me in the tiny Vango, to the mid-range Ribble, and now to the high-end family tent, which is ideal for anything you can think of. Fantastic. So again, I love you all, thank you for the views, and I hope this video gives you some food for thought, and let me know in the comments, because I always reply. Take care.